All right, all right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right, so this is going to be kind of a special today's topic because this is the 9-9 portal or the Hermit's Gateway. Nines are numbers that are like bringing us right to the finish line. So this is like a good time to, look at anything that needs to be wrapped up. It's a day maybe for introspection. It's a day to identify like there's change on the horizon. We're ready to shift. We're about ready to lean into the next adventure. So, what happens after 9 is the 10, and 10 is like the full on, completion of a cycle. So, this is the grand wrap up. So, that could be like a day then for, a character to start looking at, things that they need to do to finish up. Hi, everyone. Hey, hey, guys. Okay, so what is kind of the energy for the ninth? It's a day to look at anything that's been toxic, anything that's been argumentative, drama filled, incompatible, anything that has been like, and this could be oneself, this could be interactions with others. This could be, oh gosh, we have narcissists, egotistical, opportunities, fragile. Okay, so again, if we look at everything on like the spectrum of personality traits, let's not say that this is just like a day to be like, you know what, let me point out the people that are the worst, but also if we're really going to get the most out of any introspective moment, it might be to fair to say, let me look at my on the spectrum of my behaviors, where are any little bit toxic behaviors of my own, where am I a little bit egotistical, let me make sure, because this is the day for a big wrap up. So we want to kind of like let go of stuff, close out cycles, call things for what they are, even if it's to call ourselves out a little bit. um, but also definitely to maybe call out anything like that that has been in a character's. Wow, we have cutting ties, freedom, standing up, awakening. Okay, so we certainly have somebody who's like, I'm not going to pretend that I don't see certain things that are just not okay. I'm going to go ahead and allow myself the freedom to move on from people, places, or situations. So, for whomever this is for, this is just like the awareness. And maybe this is like the collective awareness. Let me see, where are things that my life would be better not dealing with if I cut these certain situations or behaviors out of my life. It actually doesn't feel like it's to be rude. It feels like it's because these are the capstones. We have waves, emotions, worries, fears. So I would say, I don't know why I get this overwhelming thought that it's somebody has had maybe a very overbearing, like I keep picturing a grown divine masculine who had like a very overbearing parental figure, whether that's masculine or feminine, I don't know. And the traits in themselves were kind of patterned after what they knew, but they're able to say, I didn't like those traits in moms or pops. So I loved them though. And it's really confusing when you love somebody who has those behaviors, but it's time that I actually say, yes, but I can still have the feeling of love for somebody, and I can still also recognize I don't have to follow in their footsteps. I'm not a product of what I have known. I get to choose my path forward. And that could be the case in anything, in love, in any relationship. It's time to address a heartbreak. Okay. So this is like a great day of, looking at like what's under the rug, or I'm picturing somebody pulling out their couch cushions and there's like, all the nasty stuff, there's somehow, even if you don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, there's like every couch has like a chunk of a sandwich in it. I don't know how that happens, and there's always like crackers, and there's, just weird, there's a sock in everybody's couch. There's a couple pencils, it's like it's time to do the deep dive and get the gook out from in between the couch cushions. If we really want to clean And I feel like this is what we're talking about, but we're talking about somebody cleaning out between the couch cushions in their brain, the things that they've known but maybe didn't want to identify, the things that have actually hurt them, and then really purge it and let it go. Not even maybe purge, but vacuum it out, but then also like celebrate vacuuming it out, celebrate seeing the truth, celebrate like reclaiming like passion and adventure in one's life again. So the 9-9 portal could be really awesome. It could be a day of somebody, look at this, getting their peace back, getting their love back, getting their passion and their desire back. If this is a very personal story where, let's say, a feminine dealt with somebody who was quite toxic and she finally is cutting that energetic tie, and this is her saying, I'm going to let myself have a good cathartic cry. I'm going to feel the feels, but now today is also the day I'm ready to go ahead and love somebody different. I'm ready to let myself acknowledge that there's some other hottie in my environment that I've been attracted to, but what was holding me back is I still wanted that toxic person of my past there. That's the truth. That's where I was toxic, because I still wanted somebody that had already shown me again and again that they had some bad traits, but I kept wanting them and I wouldn't let myself move on. And now I finally can. This could be one of those days where, at some point, sometimes in life we slowly get over stuff. Other times we kind of know the day that we change. And I just feel like this, with this Six of Wands also being here sideways, look, it kind of looks like a day where everybody wins. It looks like a day where everyone can feel lighter, even though there may be first some like coming to Jesus moments and some cathartic tears. Let me just ask for our feminine. You seem to be doing a lot better after this. I want to know more about that Palace of Cups. That's like her emotions being cleared. Okay, so she's in Queen of Swords energy. She is ready to look in a new direction. She's up on top of, maybe she lives upstairs in an upstairs apartment or works someplace where she can go, up high and like just get a bird's eye view of the city or something. But it's like it really feels like I have a new horizon. And yes, I'm ready to look at other people now. I could see me falling in love with somebody else now. The Chariot, the King of Cups. Okay, so she may already have somebody on her mind. Somebody who's sweet, somebody who's like a really nice guy. Guy, gal, doesn't matter. But we see her saying, I'm finally done crying over an ex. I'm really ready to gravitate toward somebody that is loving, somebody that's emotionally available. She took a long time getting to this point, but she's ready. And I think she could ask somebody out today. We may have a feminine who is ready to ask some really nice guy out. We've got the Hierophant and we've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is not her trying to prove to herself that she's over an ex. And so she's going to try to just, whatever, get under somebody to get over somebody else. No. This is like, she really feels like this is a momentous day. So right now, this looks like the story of, even though I don't read for genders, it's like one person's story, which right now has come across as if this is a feminine. Out of sheer curiosity, the person that she's having this cathartic cry over, the person that she views as toxic, but she's letting them go at long last. Can I just ask, how does the 9-9 portal hit them? Knight of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. Their progress has been very, very, very slow. They may have a day where they go home and they have a cathartic cry, but it's more, I don't know if it's so much catharsis as it is maybe a long overdue cry of frustration. And, if they're in a bit of a rut, they may be starting to become aware of it because this is stressful. They may also sense that she's moving on. We have the Chariot. Maybe this is actually her, that they're like, I'm aware today of all days, I'm aware. Maybe it's been slowly dawning on me, but I caused her a lot of grief and she moved on. This could be a breakthrough for them as well. If everyone's going through a portal, then, it's going to impact everybody. It's, we're wrapping up cycles. We have a 9 of Pentacles. We have the Sun. If anything, he may be accepting the fact that, I think I hurt her and I think she moved on, and he may even wish her well, which is a big step for somebody who used to be toxic. So there could be an energy of like, even he is saying, you notice he's not making effort to try to go get back with her or anything like that. If that is a, an ex or something of hers. Now, let's say this isn't an ex. Let's say this was, like I said before, maybe this is recognizing a parental role or somebody else that should have been a role model, but instead couldn't love us right. They, that's really tough when a parent can't be a parent. But at some point, like, it almost feels like even if that were the story, this is still that parental figure saying, you know what, I realize I maybe stressed out my kid a lot, and I'm glad they grew up and they actually chose a different path. That's good. They learned from like my mistakes. I even think that this would be a parent who's like proud that their son or daughter is like going in a different direction, a different behavioral direction than they did. They could be very proud of that son or daughter, which is just very interesting. We actually see like the toxic person is having nice thoughts and even well wishes toward the very person who's letting them go, which I would say that's a very powerful message for, a portal. So if that's how it's impacting them, that's awesome. Can we see anything about who this new King of Cups is? Because that looks really awesome to see somebody new. At present moment, it's the right person to interact with for this point in time. 8 of Pentacles, and this could have been a long time coming. This King of Cups individual could be very loyal. They may have a tattoo that's significant to them. They may be somebody that has it right out of the gate. She may know. I don't know how I know this, but first time I meet him, I'm aware that this is probably the person I'm going to end up marrying. She may be very sure about this already. Let's see how the 9/9 portal is impacting him. King of Cups, because you just kind of popped into this story out of nowhere. High Priestess. So for him, he's aware that there's like energies all around him that he has sensed for some period of time. He probably trusts in his intuition. We have Temperance sideways also. He's known that either this day was going to be special or that there was something of great balance coming into his life, which I would say is her, right? She's recently, well, not recently, she's in the act of like letting go of either an ex or letting go of a toxic, influence in her life. It's so interesting because he's like totally attuned to that. We have that 9 of Swords. He is so aware energetically that there is shifts going on around him, that this is going to be a really big day for him, that he may meet somebody he's supposed to meet, somebody divine, a counterpart. And it's like he's already reading. Look, he has his own sharks in his belly, so he's had his own stressors, right? But it's just wild because everything is feeling like more being that he's a King of Cups, so he's very emotionally charged anyway. He may feel his energy level like feels somehow more balanced, even though he also is aware, like, I remember when I didn't feel balanced, but maybe that's why it's such an important juxtaposition. Like, everything feels so much smoother, so much better to me today. Something big is happening today. Yes, I think you're meeting her or she's meeting you. 4 of Cups. I would just say, because this can be a card of illusions, missed opportunities, disappointments. I don't know if he comes upon her, meets her somewhere outside, maybe when she's having that good cathartic cry. This could be like very serendipitous. He may meet her sitting outside in a park on a rock, someplace mossy, someplace where she's just kind of like, even here, it looks like she just finished that cleansing cry. And I'm wondering if that is, look at her face is like very beautiful, but also we can just see that she's been releasing something. She's been making peace with something and letting those tears fall. I'm wondering if he literally meets her on the 9th and it's like, this, I don't even know why I had to go on this little walk on my lunch break, but I did, and I see this lovely woman who, there's something like she's in the process of letting go of something. It just feels like here's the hand of the universe bringing in this cup of love, bringing it up over the back of her head, like, so here's the thing, you finally let go of the your blockage, which was your ex, or that person who couldn't love you in your life. You finally let that go, and that means you made space for this new person, so here you go. I really feel like this is an awesome, like, energetic exchange. We have Emperor. Emperor energy is a day where decisions are made. Emperors are good at taking full accountability for their own behavior. They call it like it is when they see other people's behavior being whatever it is, and they make decisions based off of like fact, not fiction, and they're not motivated by greed and pettiness. That, at least that's how a good emperor would operate. And I just feel like this is a day where emperor energy is flowing around. Characters are kind of like taking the higher path, the higher road. They're done, you know. Remember, if this is like the hermit's gateway, this 9-9 portal, then you know what happens in hermit mode is when somebody's like going through their dark night of the soul. So if that's over, if we're done in the dark night of the soul, if we've gained the lessons we needed to, now we're ready to move forward. I could see how and why everybody would be in emperor's energy. They're ready to make real decisions now. Our masculines, our feminines, everybody is ready to just say, it's time to level up. Level up.